Hi everyone, I'm Ryan from RL Education, and today I'll be showing you guys how to write programs on the Casio ClassPad.
Okay, so I'm on my laptop over here. But the user interface will be very similar with the actual CAS. So the first thing you guys want to do is get onto this menu screen over here, and if you scroll, you guys might have to actually scroll to find this icon called Program. It should be the second page of your screen. So let's just see if I can make that clear. You can scroll to to the to the left, and you'll see this icon called Program. And what you want to do is just press on that icon, and then you at the top. Let me just go with the CAS as well, with the actual physical CAS. Make it to make sure I'm not confusing anyone. So at the top of the screen, you'll see this file icon over here. And once you press that, you'll open up this new window which says New File. And the just leave it as its default setting. So type should be program normal, and the folder will be so it'll get saved into your main folder. And let's just call this file got. And the first program we'll write will basically calculate the area of a regular polygon by taking in its side length and the number of sides. So once you get to this screen, the first thing you guys want to do is go into control. Nope. Yeah. So under the IO navigation bar, you'll see where it says clear. So what you want to do is press that, and it'll say clear text. So what clear text does is it basically clears the output window from previous calculations. The next thing you guys want to do is go on to MISC over here, the navigation bar. Under the navigation bar, go to setup one, and you'll see where it says set decimal. So basically, all your outputs will be in decimal format. Oh, sorry. What you want to do is first actually, once you typed in clear text, you want to go to the next line. So press execute on your keypad over here, and that'll take you to the next line. So the next thing you want to press is set to decimal, press execute again. Then you want to set all your angles that you're going to type in to any sinusoidal functions as radians. So let's set radians. The next line you're going to write is going to be it's going to be for your argument. So under IO, which stands for input output, you want to go to input, and it'll basically give you this command called input, and then give your variable, your argument, a name. We'll call this n, and also prompt the user. Prompt the user with some kind of message. So we'll just write, please enter the number of sides. Sides of the regular polygon. In your next line, you want to type in input again. So this is going to be for your side length. So press input, and then we'll call this S. Let's prompt the user with the message, please enter the side length. Now, I'm typing it. I'll just show you guys where to find it. If you go to IO, you'll see where it says output, and you want to press print. And also, just to type any letters, you just have to open up keyboard, and on the keyboard you will find there'll be ABC on the side of your keyboard, and just if you go onto that thing, you will see a keyboard pop up. So now you will open the quote. Let's see if we find quotes. So just select so basically here, quotation marks and there. The quotation mark, just press this, then you get that. And then I'll just use this. So let's type the next, before we print out our actual value, we'll just output some statement as well. So the area of the regular polygon is, then we'll send that quote. Okay, so now we'll actually print out the value. So in order to do that, go to input output, print. Then let's actually use this formula right here. So n times n times s to the power of 2, close brackets, divide the whole thing by 4 tan, sorry, got a bracket here, 4 tan. Let's find the pi symbol. Pi divided by n, close bracket, close bracket. That should be, oh yeah, it's right here. And if no coding error has occurred in your program, when you go to save it, just edit, save file, save. It shouldn't pop up with any error. If there was an error, so let's say we take this bracket off and we go to save it, or you can also save it from here. It'll come up with incorrect number of parentheses. And you guys will have to actually go through the program, figure out where you guys made that mistake. Yeah, so we'll just add that bracket at the end over here. Go to save it, and that should be fine. Okay, cool. So now we'll just go back to the menu and actually run our program. So let's go back to the program page. And before we run it, let me show you guys where you can actually rename the program. So if you go to this icon right here, which says A equals to dot dot dot, B equals dot dot dot, yeah, at the top of your CAS, should be on the very right-hand side. You will see where it says main. So you'll see the main folder, and you'll see 7 variables. That's just in my computer. So if you go into the main folder, you'll see your program, which should be called PGON. What you can do is actually rename this program. You can also delete it and do a bunch of other stuff with it. But now we'll just rename it. So I'm just going to call it PGON. Okay. We'll just close that. Again. And if we just go to, so the folder should be, so our program is under the main folder, and the name of the program is PGON. So we'll just change this name to PGON1. Now all we have to do is just press play here, and it'll come up with the prompt. Please enter the number of sides of the regular polygon. So let's actually use a triangle here. So we'll just type in 3, okay, and then now it's going to ask for the side length. So we'll just choose 2 as the side length. And the area of the regular polygon is 1.73. So that's your first program right there. Okay, now let's actually start our second problem. Let's consider finding the maximum of two given numbers. So let's think about how we would write the steps for determining some kind of algorithm to do so. First, we would need two numbers. So we'd have to ask the user for two numbers. So let's actually sort of just write the pseudocode on Word very quickly, just to understand it before we type it into the CAS. So we'll ask user for number, and then we'll ask user for a second number. So now we need to actually compare these two numbers, and that's where the if-else statements come in. So what we'll do is we'll check if we'll call the first number A and the second number B. So the way we'll write our logic is if A is greater than or equal to B, this would mean that A is the maximum of the two numbers. So we'd print A. Else is the condition if else is what is the line that's executed if all the previous conditions fail, if all the if conditions fail. So you can actually have multiple if conditions. In this case, we only have one. So if those if conditions fail, we would go into the else conditions. So else prints B, because we know that if A is not greater than or equal to B, B has to be greater than A. So therefore, B would be the maximum of the two numbers. Let's actually write this in the CAS program. Okay, so now we're in the CAS program. So let's go into the program icon. Let's start a new file. We'll call this maximum number, or I'll just call it max num. We'll just call it max num. Everything looks okay, so we'll just press OK. Oh, okay, so that already exists. So I'm just going to call this max num1. You guys can just call it maximum. Okay, so once we're in this window over here, the first thing we want to do is actually ask for a number from the user. So we would go to input, and we'll just call this A. And then we also need to prompt the user with some kind of message. So we'll say enter first number. You guys would use the keyboard to type this out. This is easier for me because I'm on my laptop. So second, you would go into input again, and then you type in input B. So then would enter second number. And now you would have to actually write the conditions to compare the two numbers. So if you go into control over here, you'll see where it says if. Press if, and then now that's going to be your first condition. So the first condition we'll write is if A is the math section greater than or equal to B. So once you type in if A is greater than B, you want to it's like English grammar. If something blah blah blah, then blah blah blah. So you would have to follow it up with the then statement. The if statement's there to compare something, and the then statement is there to execute. So you go into if and then select then, and then you would want to type in the command, the statement. So go to output print. You would want to print the maximum of A and B, which is going to be A. And then you would have to follow it up with your else statement. So you go into else. And in this case, you don't need to follow it up with a then statement. So you can just write print. Then once you finish with the else statement, you want to end the if clause. So you would go into control, if, and if end. Save that, no problems. So we go back to the menu, back to program, and now we can see that max number has already been selected for us. We'll run it. So let's just choose a number. We'll use 2. 2 is going to be our A, and our B would be, I don't know, 9. So see, so the 9 was printed at the bottom here.